If you're planning on investing in Canada, there are a few things you should consider before doing so. The number one thing you should know here is risk is correlated with return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. We measure return as a percentage on a yearly basis. We're going to say we invested $10,000 with a 10% return. There is going to be risk related to that because 10% is a high return. That would be $1,000 of a return on 10,000. Now we own 11,000. On the other end, if we had a 1% return, we would only have $100. $100 return on 10,000 is not very good. We would only have 10,100 after a year. It wouldn't even be worth it for inflation. Do note though that when you do have risk, you also have the risk of losing a lot too. So you could also lose 10% and now only have $9,000 left in your bank instead of 11,000. That's the first thing we need to consider. There's no such thing as a high return with low risk. They are correlated. You must have some risk there if you want to have a high return. If we're going to look at 3 different type of investment tools or vehicles, we want to look at the first one is going to your bank. You go to your bank, you can open up a savings account. In your savings account, you will have promotional interest. Many times you'll have 4% for the first 3 or 4 months. And then after that, it'll fall down to 1%. This is not very good because 1% is not a good return. Create many different promotional accounts in different banks to try and keep that 4% for a year. But eventually you will run out and you will only have that 1% left over. It's not a good idea to go into a savings account. The other thing you could have is government bonds. You go to your bank, you can also buy GICs. What that is generally you'll have a 3% return. You will not have access to that money. It will be fixed for the full year. You could put $10,000 into a GIC, and then at the end of the GIC, you'll get $300, in which case you'll have access to $10,300 you won't be able to take out. You also have bonds. Bonds are there for you to collect. You put up a principal amount. You will be getting interest payments, basically, depending on the bond, whether it's quarterly or yearly, monthly, it doesn't matter. It depends on the bond. And then at the end of it, you will have a principal amount being repaid. Here you could get bonds from great companies. Generally, they are the middle portion of risk, so not super risky. They're very unlikely for the company to fall completely. You will be on the creditor side. If they do end up going through bankruptcy, you'll be on the top list before common shareholders. You'll be able to get that money before them, which makes it less of a risk. Bonds are that middle ground that you can go through. I personally don't invest in bonds. It is that middle ground. The next one is going into stocks, and the stock one is an interesting one because within stocks you have so many different options and they all carry different risk. You have ETFs, these indexes, these funds. There's just a laundry list of different funds. It could follow the S&P 500, which is pretty much the top 500 companies in the United States. You can go and follow the American economy, or you can also follow the Canadian economy. These funds will pretty much look and go up proportionally to how the Canadian economy is doing or the US economy. You have segments. You can go into utilities. You can go into semiconductors, and there's ETFs for that. If you think AI and semiconductors are a good investment, but you don't want to just put all your eggs in one basket, i.e. it all in one stock like Nvidia, you want it to be more over amongst all the different semiconductor stocks, then you would maybe put it into an ETF such as a semiconductor ETF. Here you have a list of options. You have semiconductors, utilities, real estate. It just goes on. It depends on what you want. On top of that, you have ETFs that follow dividends. They're dividend ETFs that give you 5 to 8% annually. What that means is they have a list of high-paying dividend stocks, and ZWC is one Canadian one that pays a very high dividend return. They pay a monthly return as well. You will have monthly interest being paid to you if you invest in ZWC. If we're looking at stocks, we can think of it as limiting your risk. If you ever invest in just one stock, that is a higher risk that you're taking because it could just move. It could go down for no reason. No rules to it. It's very difficult to say for sure whether a stock will go up or down, no matter how attractive it is. It could be overvalued and then just go down. When you're investing in individual stocks, it's on the higher risk end. If you're trying to mitigate that risk, you would go into an ETF, and that would lower your risk while still having a decent return. On the very high risk end, we have our call options and our put options. Let's say, for example, you are confident that a stock will go up within a certain time. Then your best bet would be to buy a call option. And we're not going to get into what exactly that is and how it works. That's a video in itself. If you want that, do let me know in the comments below and I'll create a video just on how options work. But in theory, return would be like a multiple. That's how powerful it is. It's almost leveraged in a way. So if you for a fact knew something was going to go up or down, you would put it into options because that would give you the highest return. Instead of having a 5% return, you could have a 25% return. These are extremely high risk vehicles because you can also have a 25% loss if you're wrong. Timing is also a thing. So if you're wrong for a long time, It might be out, they've expired. And if that's the case, they'll be useless. So you have a time thing as well as the price. That is the most risky kind of investment on stocks, but it also gives you the highest return. That is not allowed in your TFSA. Crypto would be the next sort of investment, and that is very, very volatile. It can go up and down. With crypto, you have people that made a lot of money. We're on the Bitcoin run early when it was 20, 30,000, went up to 100,000 at some point. You have these returns that are just incredible, but this is something that when you're dealing with crypto, there's just no way of knowing. It's also kind of taxed more harsh as well in Canada because it's harder for you to claim capital versus business. If you are trading crypto a lot, it'll be much more likely that fall under that business income, which is obviously not a good thing. We want to keep it at capital. And crypto is also a very good return. It kind of follows that options return where you're having high risk, high reward. You have a bad day, you could lose it all. It is one thing that you need to consider. So if we were to go back and just do a summary of your investment options, you have the lower end range where you have go to your bank, you have a savings account, you have your GICs, you have your middle range where you would have your bonds if you were to invest in a bond of a big corporation. You could also have these ETFs that are fairly safe, such as S&P 500, following the American economy or the Canadian economy, middle term risk and reward. And then you have your higher end risk and reward, where you're going to your options and you're going into your crypto trading. And that's pretty much your investment tools here, other than in a small business, in a Canadian business. If you do invest in a Canadian business, though, in a small Canadian business, then you will have really good tax implications on any losses. They're called a business investment loss. And that could be another video in itself. So do let me know in the comments if that does interest you. If this video helped, make sure to like and subscribe. Remember, this is general information. This is not personalized advice. If you are looking for an accountant to do any of your taxes, www.ygadvisory.ca is here for you. We have a list of services that we provide for our clients. Take a look. The link is in the description. If you want more information, we have the first consultation is free, and then we can go from there and see if there will be a good fit, if we can help you.